sticking with Sydney. Let's get into the last statement here of the overreactions. And it's safe to say that there's a handful of teams this round that did not have the best of times in front of the goals, especially when it comes to trying to kick it through the middle one, which is, of course, if you guys don't know, that 6 points. The outer ones are just 1 point. So the goal is to kick it through the middle. I know it's kind of brand new advice and coaching. Donnie, I'm sorry to be stepping on your toes here as you're the real coach, but apparently we got some learning to do. There's some teams that didn't have the best of games when it came to goal kicking accuracy. Obviously, the mighty West Coast Eagles in their glory, they had a normal game, essentially. Actually, they scored 38. That's better than average for them. Good job, West Coast. You guys really knocked that one out of the park. Yeah, the Dockers team that we mentioned that didn't have the best, but also they were playing against some pretty poor weather, yet Essen, not a great game. Adelaide with a better game, but 9-12, still not exactly where you want to be. And then you had Sydney kicking 14-21, great score there, but definitely some behind action in that one. But with that being said, last statement of the round, Sydney had the most worrying goal kicking this week.
I again, being the Swans fan, I watched this game live, and it's one of those. If you look at the shot total, 35 shots on goal. That's pretty impressive. That is pretty impressive. Again, I hate doing this, Bombers fans. Please don't be angry with me, but this is the truth. It was against the Bombers, and the Bombers have not been defensively sound. But I look at this, and I wanted to pull this up because I wanted to see who the biggest defenders were, and just going off the forward line. Mm-hmm. You have three behinds kicked by Tommy Papley, 4 behinds kicked by Lance Franklin, 2 behinds kicked by Isaac Heaney, 2 behinds kicked by Peter Ladhams, and 2 behinds kicked by Will Hayward. The fact that it's your forwards kicking the behinds is both a good and a bad sign. It's a good sign because it means you're getting the ball into your forwards and you're getting your forward shots on goal. Mm-hmm. The bad part is that in a game where you're not playing a team that's as atrocious playingly as Essendon is, that can come back to bite you. So
exactly, especially in the sense we're just talking about with Melbourne as well.
Is this a worrying sign? Yes. I'm not going to say this is an overreaction. I actually agree with this. This is a worrying sign because as many times as they went in, this game probably should have been a 100-point win for the Swans. If I'm being 100% honest, again, Bombers fans, please don't hate me. I'm just telling the truth. Buddy Franklin had 6 shots on goal and he was 2-4, 2 goals, 4 behinds. If he gets half of those and has 4 goals, this game is different. If Papley isn't as wayward because he's trying to kick it as hard as he can instead of just being nice and easy, I think this game gets out of hand and gets out of hand quickly. Mm-hmm. So again, going into a tough game against the Carlton Blues this week, if I'm Horst Longmire, I definitely make sure to get us some goal kicking practice because you cannot keep Carlton in the game if you're going to get a lot of inside 50s because they can score and score quickly. Now, we'll have to see. It's a completely different situation, and Carlton is now dealing with some issues, including the fact that Williams is now going to be out for a significant amount of time. Thankfully, I will say this, Blues fan, thankfully it was not an Achilles. It is a calf strain.
Yes.
It is a bad calf strain, so it sounds like he's probably going to be out to the finals.
Absolutely better than ruptured Achilles, though. That's not. It's not season ending.
Exactly. Well, and it's not a 12-monther to where he's coming in 6-7 rounds next year as well. Exactly. So it's one of those, you cross your fingers, you think, God, it's not the worst possible situation, which is great. But that's a worrying sign for Carlton because if Sydney can get it going, that's one less defensive body to be able to throw back there. So it'll be quite interesting. I look at a lot of these games this week, and there's some interesting matchups that I think could go either way if certain things happen.
Stay along till the tipping. Uh-huh.
I'll state it right now, and I already told Ross this. I have a bold tip this week. I'm going to take the bold tipping mantle at least for 1 week.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. So, like, if you guys have listened to any tipping, any show, you know that I have my 1 a week, and I promise you, I still have that 1 a week this round. It might be a little bit different from Donnie's, but I gotta say, I'm so proud of you. This is awesome. Can't wait to have. Maybe it'll give me a way
for me this tip, I don't think is as bold as some people think. Some people might make it out to be.
That's
I
the
don't think it's as
beauty
bold
of
a
these
tip.
bold tips, Donnie. That's the beauty. Some of mine, okay, I'll be honest, some of mine are just like really stupid and like I probably shouldn't tip them.
You
Others,
aim for the you aim for the fences. You're like Babe Ruth. You're pointing to the fence and hoping you just hit it.
hey, sometimes they hit, sometimes they don't. But you know, that's a fun thing. But I want to bring this statement up to you, especially being a Swans fan as yourself, just because taking a look at actual watching the game, taking a look at the stat sheet, you know, between the inside 50s, the 35 shots on goal, and not even counting all the ones that totally just missed the mark as well. The goal attempts, if you want putting those numbers, this game should have been way, way, way more of a bigger win for Sydney, especially against the best. I feel, yeah, now I'm coming to you, man. We've said it way too much. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't mean to keep rubbing in your face. But it kind of happens when it's a fact. You know, you join me, take solace, and I'm a Giants fan, so we all suck. And I talk the most crap about them out of anyone I've ever heard. It's great. You would not think I'm a supporter of them, but I guess it's just when we were comparing them to these bigger games they're going to have, you know, the Melbourne and stuff like that, the Carlton, these games like this are going to beat you the Essendons, the West Coast, the Adelaides, the sometimes the Suns, but it's hard to beat that true finals contender when you have performances like this. For their sake and for my sake, for my prediction's sake, I hope they fix things, and for your sake, I hope you don't go crazy. So I hope they start to you know, get things together, because we already have one sad fan here. We don't need two of them, especially two from the Sydneys as well. It's not necessary, even though the Giants are greater. It's only in name and not, especially not what we see on the field.